Is this real? Is that what we watched? Are we going down this path again? Now, if I would have put out a prediction video for this game, exactly what I would have not wanted to happen was for us to repeat what we did last year, right? Be the same team. Because if we were to repeat what we did before, which so many of us are sick of, it's the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's the Harvey Dent, the Two-Face, the two different Manchester Uniteds, the two different personalities, the two different alter egos, right? That's what we are. We show up for a big match, opener of the season against Arsenal, and we're up for it. We look like the better team. We left with a loss. We left deserving a win. If we're going to be the same team as last year, it's, well, we're going to have a letdown game now against Fulham. We're going to go on the road and we're going to lose or draw because we were so inconsistent last year in those non-top 6 games that we could have collected points. We did not clean house on those, right? And here we are. That's what we did. Now, before I get too far down in my emotions, down any path, I just want to say I'm going to be as reasonable as I can. You know what? It's a blessing and a curse. We have the best fan base in the world. Manchester United fans are passionate. It means something, right? We're also emotional. And we're also sick of this. We're also tired of this. We also want to see the end of the tunnel, right? But we are in the depths right now. And so many of the people that I'm seeing out there that are calling for the manager's head, we're starting to point to this being an indication of Ruben Amorim and whether or not he's the right man for the job, right? Look, results are results. We have to get results. No matter what, it has to change. Last year was a pain, and I think a necessary pain that we all had to go through, right? Had to rip the Band-Aid off, had to be ruthless this offseason, had to make changes, right? Now it's time for results. You're not going to be given another grace period of 15th in the Premier League table. That's not something that we can live with. So we've got to win these matches, right? At some point, you just have to deliver. And so I get the people that are upset with the result, that are upset with the performance, that are calling for Ruben's head. Where last year, people are saying we need to rebuild. Everybody knows our culture, our core is rotten. We need to clean house. We need to get rid of these personalities that don't fit winning football, right? That takes time. That takes patience. You don't just completely swap out an old team for a new team and all of a sudden you've got a new identity and a new persona. That takes time. Talking about Ruben Amorim, his second game into his first full season, and we've only brought in 4 players for him, and expecting him to turn water to wine right now is a little bit unrealistic, and I don't think it's fair. What would have happened if Sir Alex got sacked after his first season, which also was 38% win percentage? What would have happened to Jurgen Klopp? It took him nearly 5 years. Pep, nearly 2, and that's with a blank check and all the Saudi money in the world. And same goes for Arteta. Were Arsenal fans completely thrilled and enthused all the way up until now? That's why patience is worn thin, right? We have to see the bigger picture. Now, seeing the bigger picture and accepting losses or dropped points aren't the same thing. I get that. But to call for Ruben's head after a game like this, did Ruben miss the penalty that Bruno skied? Did Ruben somehow imprint into Diego Dallo's brain that he should do some fucking 180 and turn the ball over and give up a goal? It's okay to be critical of the manager. It's okay to be critical of Ruben because certainly there were decisions today that I think we can be critical of, and that's only fair, right? But calling for his job, getting that emotional already is a little bit insane to me, and it's not practical. It's not reasonable. Let's get 10 games in. Let's see where we're at. But I do agree that at some point, the rubber's got to meet the road, right? We have got to start churning out points. We've got to beat Burnley. But beyond that, we've got a Man City coming up. It's nut up or shut up, right? Now, just to analyze a little bit of what we saw today, there's a couple of players that I'm going to leave out of this. That's Euro, that's De Ligt, and that's Mason Mount, and probably Mateus Cunha. I thought those 4 were solid, although Mateus Cunha wasn't very involved in the second half. I mean, beyond that first 10 minutes where he was just absolutely a dynamo. I mean, he looked world class and should have had 2 goals within the first 4 minutes. But those guys individually, they were at the races. The only thing I wish maybe would have been different for De Ligt when we gave up that goal, just as a defender, it would make me nervous being that close to the goal and letting that ball pass you. I get that he was cutting off the attacker, right? He was boxing him out, making sure he couldn't get the ball, but he let that ball go right by him. And at this point, as a defender for Manchester United, do you trust Bayindir to make sure that he's not going to make a mess of that? I mean, just for peace of mind as a defender, it's almost like clear that ball no matter what. That's nitpicky, right? But giving up that goal was insane to me because Lord knows I can't tell you what Diego Dallo was thinking. Doing some fancy half spin turn. I mean, what the hell? Like, to have no presence of mind, there's a guy that you're turning right into, right? Give the ball up immediately. And then you're kind of stuck in no man's land. Diego Dallo's out there on an island trying to defend 2 people, but at least close the ball out. At least on one of them, close the ball out. He didn't do it to the first man with the ball. Then he makes the pass, and then Diego Dallo is literally just stuck there in no man's land. He's not closing out the ball. Like, watch from an opponent's perspective. Watch like when Dorgu has the ball or when Ahmad has the ball. Are they just letting us sit out there, leaving us able to make open crosses, non-contested crosses. No, we're always being closed out. So why are we not putting pressure on the ball there, Dallo? What is going on? It's just very hard for me because Diego Dallo is a classy professional, right? He's Portuguese, so you understand that Ruben Amorim probably has a lot of appreciation for Diego Dallo because he is a hard worker, he's a grinder, he's a good leader, like all of these things. But here's the problem. He's not the best player. He's just a very mediocre player. He's not an incredible defender. He's not an incredible attacker at all. And so when we're bringing him in the second half as an impact sub, what is he going to impact? Is he going to help us score a goal? Probably not. Is he going to help us defend better? Maybe a little bit better than Ahmad. But at this point, I'm not convinced that having him in there other than Ahmad is very much better at all on the defensive side of the ball, other than just having a little bit more size. But Ahmad didn't have a great game. I mean, that's why he got hooked. At least he's a threat, right? Like, there was one play in the first half where Ahmad gave up the ball. It was kind of sloppy, leading directly to an attack. And you see this guy running like a piss missile after the guy he gave up the ball to, right? He was hunting down the ball carrier. He was going to get that ball back, right? At least just showing some effort and trying to close out and win the ball back that he just lost. Like, at least we're seeing these players hustle. At least we're seeing Ahmad track back. Like, I would have seen Diego Dallo, you gave up that ball, go get it back. Chase that man down, get the ball back, close out the ball. I don't even care. But at some point, it's just an effort optics thing. And I get that there's principles to the defense and the way that they're playing, but never in any defense would I expect you to just leave a guy wide open, allow him to make a wide open, non-contested cross into the box. Completely brain dead for me. And that right wing back position, like, you had Diego Dallo start last week, you had Ahmad start this week. Have any of them really made an impact as far as who should be starting week in, week out? In my opinion, it should be always Ahmad Diallo. He should be the guy. But take your chances, man. And then Mbumo, completely uninvolved, like the whole game. Other than, I mean, he got his assist on the corner, right? Thank God that we can get the 007 off our back. Nobody's going to say no goals, no assists. He got that assist, right? But other than that, what can we do to get a guy like that involved? Because he was just a complete non-factor on the game, which that should never be the case when you've got a guy with that skill. Now, Bruno Fernandes, let's talk about him. I love Bruno. I will defend Bruno. In many times, in many cases, in many matches, he is the light in the darkness, right? For many seasons now. He's been the best top performer on a shit team, on a shit squad that's been delivering shit results. He's been the one guy that consistently puts up goals and assists, creates chances. That's undeniable. We know that. But at some point, when you're mentally not there and you are rattled or uninvolved, just vacant, and everybody can see that, everybody watching the game on TV can see that. I mean, I never have Bruno step up for a penalty, and never do I think that this isn't going in. I mean, he's one of the best penalty takers in the world. He's that good. Hasn't missed a freaking penalty since 2023, and he takes them all the time. I had a gut feeling that it wasn't going in, and then he skies it. I've never seen him hit a ball like that. And then you see that there's some altercation with the ref, and then after the game, he's coming out saying that the ref messed up my routine and didn't apologize. What the fuck, man? Is it that? Are you that soft? I get it. Penalties are very much a mind thing, right? You've got your process. You've got to feel like you're in your comfort zone. Like, and he messed it up. But because he didn't apologize, and that just, like, you went and tried to hit a piss missile up into the top corner to prove a point to the ref, and you fucking skied it. We need our captain to be composed. We need our captain to lead. And sometimes, like, this is where I can critique Ruben Amorim, but not say he should be out, right? Bruno was completely not impacting the game in a positive way. So take him out. Make a sub. Make a bold move. Put Kobe Mainu in there. If they're competing for the same midfield position and Bruno's having a bad game, show the team that nobody's more important than the team. The captain is having a stinker. Take him out. We don't have to rely on Bruno to be the be-all, end-all anymore, right? We've got Mateus Cunha who can create for himself. We've got Brian Mbumo who can create for himself. Put some trust in these guys and teach Bruno a lesson. And this is coming from a guy that will defend Bruno. I love Bruno, but nobody is above the team. If you're having a poor game, you're out. And some people will critique keeping Mason Mount in there with Bruno and not putting Kobe in. But at some point, it's like Mason Mount's been one of our most consistent performers since the preseason started, right? He's been putting in good performances. The manager loves him. Apparently, he does everything right. I like Mason Mount, and I'm happy that he's healthy. He's been playing well. And I think that Ruben's just trying to find a way to keep him on the field. If he's going to sub anyone, it doesn't need to be Mason Mount, right? He's one of our top performers at the moment. So I get why he kept him in. But the striker decision, that's got to be, like, at some point, it's sink or swim. I get that you're trying to coddle Benjamin Sesko, and you're trying to put him into this perfect position where he can, be groomed and be slowly introduced into that starting role and not just throwing him into the deep end. But at some point, man, we need a striker. And if it's not going to be Sesko at the moment, why isn't Xerxes playing? I just feel like once we've got that target man, once we've got that center of attack, Cunha and Mbumo, things will start to open up for them, especially with Xerxes, man. He's going to be able to play with them, I think, very well, and I can't wait to see it. I'm not sure why he's not getting on. Maybe he had a preseason injury. Maybe he's still not fit, but we'll see. But he's got to start playing games, and so does Sesko. Give Sesko some minutes, and for God's sake, can we get Sesko some opportunities to take a shot? Can we put a cross in for him? Can we feed him? It's just like for this game, we came out guns blazing. Like the first couple of minutes, it was action packed. And for a second, I was like, damn, like we are different. We looked like this against Arsenal, and here we are coming out of the gates threatening. And I'm just like thinking what it would be like to be another fan watching Manchester United. Like these guys have got to be fearing us right now, seeing the way that Cunha's attacking and the way that he's tracking that ball from the keeper, playing it in perfectly and getting a shot off. It should have been a goal, right? Cunha should have had 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, maybe even 3. But then we go from that level of exciting football to literally after the first 15 minutes of the match, it was buckle up. This is not going our way, and it's going to be one of those days. And the rest of the first half was that way. Fulham started getting the better of us. We didn't have much control. Our midfield, of course, had no control. I don't think any of our wingbacks played well at all today. And then we were gifted a penalty, and that felt like a life raft, right? That was a gift, and Bruno completely botched it. After that, I started to be very much in my head, very much doubting that this was going to be a game that we were going to win. So I just think, all in all, it's not like Fulham picked us apart. Okay, we drew on the road. We got a point. We needed a point. We've dropped now 5 points out of 6, but just on its own, we went and drew on the road. Pretty tough fixture. We got a point, right? So there's that. But when you add in the context of us completely looking different than we did last week, of us starting hot, falling off, dropping off, that's what we did last year, and that's what we don't want to see. So I just think it's going to take Ruben making some bold decisions. It's going to take him being fearless. It's going to take him, like a lot of people are upset about Kobe Manu, and to me it is weird that he's not playing, and I don't understand that. But at the same time, I can understand, even though Kobe can play the 10 and he'd be a good 10 probably, or can at least make something happen, are we going to drop Cunha for him? Are we going to drop Mbumo for him? No, we need those guys on the pitch, right? Like, it's just not going to happen. And then you hear that Kobe's not even fighting for the Ugarte Casemiro position in the midfield too. He's fighting with Bruno. And today, I think it would have been justified if Bruno left the pitch, if we subbed Bruno for Kobe. That could have happened. It probably should have happened. And I would love to see Manu start to get some minutes, but boy, do we need to bring in Sané Lamens right now. Because Bayindir, man, these corners are going to be the death of me. I don't understand why we make such a mess of corners. Why at this point it's like a mental thing. It's, you know, when they say in golf, when a swinger's got the yips, when a golfer's got the yips, it's just a mental battle, right? It's just this mental block that they can't get around, and you've got to work through it. Now it's like every single corner, it's literally blood in the water. Every single team, they know that we are weak at corners. We've just got a soft keeper when it comes to corners. And like, what was it, 3 in a row where they hit that ball right to the back post and they should have scored if they were more clinical? That should have been 3 goals. And they botched it, right? Lucky for us. But at some point, like, I don't know what this keeper situation is, but Onana's not even playing. So does Ruben have more faith in Bayindir than he does Onana? Are we going to move Onana on? What's going to happen? We've got 1 week left in the transfer window. By all accounts, we're bringing in Sané Lamens, which he'll be a sight for sore eyes if he can just play better than Bayindir and Onana. But we all thought it was going to be Onana and Lamens, and Bayindir was gone. But now Bayindir started the first 2 games of the season, and Ruben has said Onana's fit. So what's going on there? That's interesting. We're going to need to bring in a midfielder. I don't know who it is, but we've got to solve that problem. Not much time left in the transfer window. Call me crazy, but I still am holding on to a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope. You know, when in Hercules and there's that thread and they cut it with the scissors, that's what my hope looks like right now, that we can get Baleba. It's a Godfather offer, right? He got hooked at halftime today. You think he's got to be pissed. There's rumors that, you know, maybe it was something to do with his head, him not being in there, him not being in the game. And some people saying that his head's in Manchester. He wants to move. Like, these are all conspiracy theorists. These are all tinfoil hats. This is all just finding anything that we can to connect us to Baleba and just hope that that's going to happen. We'll see. Like I said, I'm hoping and praying, but we've got to get something done. This has got to change, and it's got to be better this week. We've got Grimsby coming up. Get Sesko or Xerxes some minutes at the 9. We have got to get points, and we've got to get comfortable playing with a 9. Not a great day, but we'll take the points and we'll move on to the next game. It's got to look different. Go Reds.